The Ottawa Rough Riders fight for a playoff spot tonight at Skydome. There is no reason to believe the Argos will suffer any sort of a letdown because they've played well since they were relegated to second place by Winnipeg, beating Saskatchewan handedly here and then losing on a late field goal in Saskatchewan last weekend. We're underway at the Skydome. The Argos kick it off, and the Rough Riders' Reggie Barnes brings it back to the 34-yard line of Ottawa. A 19-yard return of a 60-yard kickoff, and Damon Allen, who's had his best year as a professional, will try to get the Ottawa offense off on the right foot.
When you ask Don Matthews what the change for this team, or one of the changes has been since the last time they played them here at Skydome, is that he thinks Damon Allen and this Ottawa team goes deep a lot more. I think Steve Goldman wants him to, but they want him to go deep at the right time.
This is the third meeting of the season. The Argos won the first two, 41-25 and 30-26. Allen sprints left, short pass. Jeff Smith, former Argo, has it, loses the ball as he goes down, but got it back and has a gain of 9 yards.
Well, that's the type of control pass that's good to open a game up with. It's almost like running the football. You get yourself 7 or 8 yards and put your offense in a good position on a second down series.
Jeff Smith has been a big help to the Ottawa Rough Riders since he joined them in August.
Well, Steve Goldman has thrown accolades both to Smith and Ellingson because of their work ethic in practice and because they take charge on the field. They're good leaders, and that will rub off.
2nd and 1, Ottawa. Allen keeps off the right side, and he gets a first down for the Ottawa Rough Riders to their 45-yard line. And we talked to Damon Allen. We asked him what the Ottawa Rough Riders have to do if they're to be successful tonight.
Well, I think one of the things we have to do, the two previous times we did play them, I think we had a lot of turnovers on offense, which I think was a factor in both ball games. And if we're able not to turn over the football and establish Reggie Barnes in the game early, then we have a very good opportunity and a good chance to win the ball game and control the football too.
And here's Reggie Barnes carrying off the left side, and he gets 3, maybe 4. And Neil, you said one of the keys for Ottawa to win was to establish the run of Reggie Barnes, and that's been important in every game they've had success in this year.
Without question, and I don't think we should forget about David Conrad, who has offset Barnes in many occasions, hitting quick holes up the middle. I mean, you can't look at your running back as a one-dimensional, your running game one-dimensionally. I think Conrad won't come into play obviously as much as Barnes, but watch his blocking, and he is an important factor in this offense.
2nd and 7, Ottawa from its 49-yard line. Damon Allen, a quick pass again, but this time for David Williams, and the throw was high and outside. Reggie Pleasant had pretty good coverage. So Ottawa got 1 first down, and now Terry Baker will come out to punt it away. One thing you don't want to do is give the football to the Argos more often than you have to, and kicks is one way that they can kill you. And the man who can do it to you is back there to receive this punt by Terry Baker, and that is Mike Clemens.
Toronto only sends one man back again. It is Clemens. Let's see if Baker tries to kick away and make Clemens work harder to get the football, to get those types of returns that we've seen from him.
3rd down, punt by Baker. Big rush, and it's blocked. The Argos got a piece of it. Daniel Hunter for Ottawa touched the ball. It did cross the line of scrimmage, but the Ottawa Rough Riders had the punt blocked by Brazeley. We're just underway. There's no score at the Skydome. A 15-play, 97-yard Ottawa drive dies at the 2-yard line as Keith Browner recovers a fumble by Reggie Barnes. The hit was made by Chris Gaines, and with 3.5 minutes left in the first quarter at the Skydome, we remain scoreless. So Ottawa has made a couple of errors in the first quarter, and they've been costly. And this pass is intercepted. Brett Young has it to the 20, the 15, and spun out of bounds at the 12-yard line of Toronto.
Brett Young at the inside halfback spot just plays the quarterback, drops back and plays catch, and he gets the ball back for the Riders.
Back-to-back turnovers. The first one was made by the Ottawa Rough Riders as they fumbled at the Toronto 2-yard line. Reggie Barnes had the ball shaken loose, and Browner recovered. And then
fair play for Ottawa. Foggy gets caught looking into a coverage that I don't think he was quite recognized because he had Brett Young playing in that slot area in the secondary, simply going to Jeff Boyd and reading the quarterback and coming up with the ball.
Looked like he just underthrew it. Damon Allen now from the 12 fires and completes to David Williams at the 3-yard line, barely staying in bounds, very close to an Ottawa first down.
Close enough to send the bigger beef in for short yardage. John Mandrich, Jed Tommy, Lewis goes in.
I said earlier, Neil, that Ottawa had made 2 mistakes. They had the kick partially blocked earlier, and Toronto got the ball at their 38-yard line. They weren't able to get any points out of that. And then on the 2, and they fumble. Now they're 2nd and a yard at the Toronto 3. Allen keeps off the right side, and he'll be very close to a first down.
Well, that's what that's what he's going for too. A lot of people might think, why are they sneaking the ball from 2.5, 3 yards out? Well, Damon Allen is looking for that first down on that play, not the touchdown.
How do you sneak it the rest of the way in? Reggie Barnes has dropped it twice already in this first quarter, or do you give it to him to get his confidence back?
Well, many situations, and you've heard the stories, when a receiver drops the ball, next time you get a chance, throw it to him and get his confidence back. I say you go back to Reggie Barnes.
Damon Allen looks to the bench. They don't send a play in. They do have extra blocking strength in there. David Williams is the lone wide receiver, and he splits left. 1st and goal, Ottawa. Allen keeps behind the center, and they say he got a touchdown. Damon Allen's in.
Heck of a second move right along the goal line. Damon Allen tries that to follow the surge behind Brian Hillebrun and Kerry Ilarenko, but he's really stifled immediately. But watch the spin. A great view of the first time right now, but he stopped because of Ford. Then he just rolls off. When you're that close, you don't stop moving if you've got a chance.
Stopped initially, and then he rolled off and kind of disappeared behind the pile, but he got the ball to the goal line, and the Ottawa Rough Riders take the lead with the first points. Dean Dorsey to attempt to convert, which he makes, and it's 7-0 Ottawa with 2 minutes 21 seconds left in the first quarter.
Step to the right side. Good penetration right at front. Mike Campbell, who was playing on the nose, really took away a surge from that center, which slowed down Damon Allen. But the rest of the offensive line kept that momentum and allowed Allen that second chance, which was a roll.
This is the 17th out of the 18 games Ottawa has played this year that Damon Allen has started at quarterback. He's really had a good year. Personal bests in just about every passing category and rushing category you can imagine. And there's a look at some of the people who have come from Ottawa to Toronto for tonight's game. A very good crowd at the Sky Dome as the Argos end the regular season against Ottawa, with Ottawa having a shot to make the playoffs if they can win or tie. Dean Dorsey tees it up to kick off. And it will be returned by Mike Clemens from the 17-yard line. And he's cut down at the 29. Brett Young made the tackle. He also made the interception earlier. I asked Ricky Foggy about how he'd attack the Ottawa secondary and the young people there.
Well, I think basically what we have to do is keep them guessing. They're a little inexperienced back there, and they haven't played a lot of games together. And I think the leader back there is Flagel, so I think he made some good plays for him. We have to be conscious of him, but we just have to go out and play our usual game. Get Clemens involved in the game, get Darryl Smith involved, and just go by our way and just have a good game out there.
That return by Clemens was 12 yards. Ricky Foggy works out of the shotgun. Third possession of the game for the Argos, and they haven't been able to move the ball. Foggy throws long for Darryl Smith, and he has it at center field, and he's to the Ottawa 35-yard line.
No sooner does Rick Foggy mention Darryl Smith's name, but sure enough, he comes up with a heck of a catch. Brett Young, 21, goes for the ball instead of sliding back and moving with the football. See the move? He gets Young turned around, but Smith doesn't cut in front of him. He now comes behind him. He positions himself knows where he is on the field and gives himself a good chance to catch the ball.
46-yard gain. That's the 90th catch of the year for Daryl Smith. He now has 1,753 yards. And he can tie the CFL record for touchdowns in a season if he can get one tonight. From the 35. Foggy for Daryl Smith again, and he's bumped onto the 5-yard line by Brett Young. The fans are hollering for a penalty, and so is Daryl Smith.
When Foggy drops back, he looks left first, which pulls Flagel, but Flagel makes a good jump when the ball is thrown. And I think they have a pretty good case there for tossing the flag.
What a year Daryl Smith has had. And there's Don Matthews looking at the replay on the big jumbotron at Skydome. Brett Young was shaken up on that play. Now, Brett Young has played 13 games this year, and Scott Flagel has played all 18, Neil. But Daniel Hunter's played 6, Ian Patterson 4, and Charles Wright has played 4 games. The other 3 starters in their secondary. And boy, that's a tough position for those young guys.
Well, to take that a step further, Bob, they've had a total of 8 corners go through that secondary and 7 halfbacks, and that's tough to establish some continuity when there's a revolving door like that.
Argos have used 5 quarterbacks this year. Ricky Foggy's one of them. He starts tonight with Smelly and Clemens in the backfield. The receiving core with Smith having a terrific year, and Jeff Boyd almost 1,000 yards. Murray and Mazzotti, solid receivers, and a very good offensive line. Schultz, Ferroni, Beckstead, Skemp, and Prunster. And they haven't had injury problems on that offensive line the way they did last year when the team was a disappointing 7-11.
As you see Young come out, he'll be replaced by number 30, Kyle Hall.
2nd and 10 for the Argos. From the Ottawa 35-yard line, less than a minute to go. First quarter, 7-0 Ottawa. Foggy will take off and run, and he does that well. Foggy to the 15, the 10, out of bounds at the Ottawa 7.
We see quarterbacks, specifically scramblers or runners like Foggy, go to the outside. Watch how he starts off this run. Up the middle, and now he's back to the outside. Picks up some blockers and puts together a run for 24 yards. Tries to direct a little bit downfield too.
Well, in Foggy and Damon Allen, we have 2 outstanding running quarterbacks. First and goal, Argos, Ottawa 7. And off to Mike Clemens. To the 5. And to the 2-yard line.
To the outside. If you lose contain, this is what happens. Good block right there to allow Clemens to get to the outside by Smelly on Stuman.
2nd and goal, Argos, and barring a penalty, this would be the last play of the first quarter. They're at the Ottawa 2-yard line. Foggy, quarterback draw, and he has a touchdown.
Don't call it a sneak, because it's not. It's a quarterback draw. Watch the steps back. 1.5, and then he follows his guard up the field. Good block right at the goal line by number 69, Ferroni.
And the Argos have broken the single-season record for points set by Edmonton last year, 644. They have now scored 646 points, make it 647, and they've tied the game 7-all at the end of the first quarter. Toronto Argos score a touchdown in the last play of the opening quarter to tie the game at 7-all. Ricky Foggy going in from 2 yards out. So after I guess a bit of a slow start to this game, things have opened up in the last few minutes. Hank Alyssa kicks off, and it bounces to Stacey Dawsey at the 11-yard line, away from the first downfield Argo, and not the second, down at the 26-yard line. Well, that touchdown was the 75th of the year for the Argos. That's a record, and they have now broken the record for most points in a season with 647.
And when you look back at some of those games that have been played where they've got an awful lot of points, it really looked like a shootout at the OK Corral.
Well, they lead the CFL with 38 points a game.
Just 2 under that average that Don Matthews was looking for. He would like to set a goal for his team of 40 points per. I think he'll settle for 38 if things work out for him.
Pretty close. 17-yard return by Dossie on the kickoff. Damon Allen faking. Browner giving chase. Allen throws and completes up at the 40-yard line to David Williams, a 12-yard gain. And that's a good throw by Allen, rolling left and with an Argo breathing down his neck.
Well, Browner's been fooled once. He wasn't fooled that time. He did step down, but he didn't step down nearly as far as he had before, which put a little bit more pressure on Allen rolling out. He made a heck of a throw to get the ball to Williams.
And it gives Ottawa a first down up at their 39-yard line. And off, Reggie Barnes bumps into a teammate. It's across the 40 and up to the 42 for a gain of 3 on the play. Reggie Barnes with 1,186 yards. Robert Mims 1,266. So an 80-yard spread between those two entering this game. Mims will play tomorrow for the Bombers in their final game against Hamilton. 2nd and 8 as we look from above. The Ottawa Rough Riders at their 42-yard line. Allen, plenty of time. Tries to hit Ellingson, but he got tangled up with Don Wilson and had no chance to get to the ball. Damon Allen's durability has often been questioned, Neil, but this year he's only missed 1 game.
And he's not taking the punishment he did in the past. That offensive line, who, by the way, have not one of them has missed a game. They've stayed together as a unit. So that helps them in their schemes up front and certainly how they learn how to protect people and how to adjust. He's got a few more pads on this year than he did last year, too.
Terry Baker had his first punt of the game blocked. He's 4th in the league with a 40.1-yard average. 3rd down and 8. Riders. And Baker's in trouble. He throws a pass and almost completed it up near the 50-yard line, but it's a turnover, and the Argos will have it deep in Ottawa territory in a 7-all game early in the 2nd quarter. Ed Berry tackled Ottawa punter Terry Baker, and he couldn't get the kickoff, and the Argos take over.
The snap forces Baker to step to one side. That's where Berry's coming from. Plus, the 2 upbacks both blocked 1 man.
The snap wasn't great, but a man was missed completely, and that resulted in the play. And there's a throw by Foggy to Jeff Boyd, but they say no good. He was juggling it as he went out of bounds, and they ruled no catch. That would have put Boyd over 1,000 yards.
You might wonder how a quarterback can not only take a snap but throw a ball with not a cast but a splint on his right hand. Well, that's what Rick Foggy has. As you can see, he can bend it, but it can't be pushed back. It protects it, that plastic, that mold over the top from being bumped, but it still can't be easy.
Well, you'd have to think it hinders his passing a little bit, although he's throwing with authority tonight and last week did so in Regina. 2nd and 10. Argos from the Ottawa 42-yard line. Foggy throws. Darrell Smith complete. Daniel Hunter knocks him out of bounds, but Smith has a first down inside the Ottawa 30.
Ball thrown well to the outside so Smith could run to it. So even if the coverage is tight, it's behind. Smith and Foggy have the advantage.
Well, the Ottawa Rough Riders have improved in many areas this year, including on defense. Stuman has made a big impact. Lloyd Lewis, Mandarich, and Kulka. Mandarich and Kulka knew, and they've played well. The linebacking core, Bruce Holmes leads the CFL in tackles and has for much of the season. And the secondary has been the area that has been a troubled one for Ottawa. Wright and Patterson both have played just 4 games. The Riders are last in the CFL in pass defense. They've given up 342 yards per game in passing yards. It's a scary number for Steve Goldman. Ready to go again. 1st and 10. Argos just inside the Ottawa 30. It's 7-all with 12.5 minutes left in the 2nd quarter. Foggy Fakes a couple of times over the middle. Daryl Smith all alone at the 9 and hit hard at the 8 by Patrick Wayne.
Lots of movement and lots of action. Give the defense a number of things to look at. Pull them and yank them one way and the other. Watch how this opens up in the middle after the fake. Foggy could have run. But here comes Smith across the top of the screen. Holmes goes with the back. That makes it that much more open to throw the ball. And who happens to be there but Daryl Smith.
Wide open Daryl Smith, so it's 1st and goal. Argos at the Ottawa 7-yard line. Foggy into the end zone for Jeff Boyd. Touchdown!
That catch is not only for a touchdown, but it puts Jeff Boyd over the 1,000-yard mark. He joins that club. What a great throw just over the shoulder. Pretty good coverage. They both stretch out for it. But the ball's where it had to be, and I guess that answers our question whether that brace or semi-cast on his finger of the throwing hand affects the throwing of the ball, and I would say no.
And the convert is good.
Congratulations, Joe. Good job.
Charles Wright has had a great second quarter with 2 interceptions. 2nd and 10 Ottawa. Big pressure by Moen. Damon Allen gets away, and from a second Toronto player, and finally runs out of bounds at the 50-yard line. He gains a yard, but what elusiveness by Damon Allen.
And he needed it on that play because Don Moen came in from the short side untouched. Damon Allen had not even a clue what was going on downfield. He had no chance to see it.
Terry Baker, he's out to punt now for the 4th time. First one partially blocked. Second one he couldn't get it away because the blocking broke down. Third one he finally got it off, 34 yards. You see what he does here. 3rd down and 9 at the Argo 50. They come with a big rush, and Baker does get it away. Clemens on the run at the 17-yard line. Mike Clemens finds a bit of a seam and is up to the 24 with 2 minutes and 22 seconds left in the first half.
Take away the opportunity for Clemens to go outside. In other words, contain him, then funnel him up the field. But if you do that, as many teams have found out, if you haven't got some bodies there to take him down, he'll take it downfield.
Along with all his yards, Mike Clemens has 11 touchdowns this year. Foggy with that fake again. He gets away from Greg Stuman. And he'll run to the 30, and Ricky Foggy up to the 39-yard line. That will be close to a Toronto first down. Make it the 34-yard line that he is close to. Ricky Foggy told Don Matthews he wanted to do some running tonight, and Matthews said, if it feels good, do it, Ricky.
Well, Foggy, and as the Argos do for Dunnigan and whoever's in there at quarterback, have some plays designed to have him sprint out and run option. If you feel like running, go ahead and run it. You see an opportunity to throw the ball, you can do that too.
2nd down and short. Foggy keeps off the right side across the 35, and he'll have a Toronto first down up to the 36. Now, John Kangemi is injured and won't play tonight. The backup quarterback for the Argos is Willie Gillis. And of course, Matt Dunnigan is still out, and they don't expect him for the semifinal next week either. The man with the red shirt, Tony Gabriel, in the Hall of Fame. Tremendous player for the Ottawa Rough Riders for many years. Started the year for his career in Hamilton. 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line for the Argos, and Foggy again with pressure, but he throws on the run and completes it to Boyd up at center field. Well, that's a good throw for a guy with a splint on his finger.
Well, Foggy had to bail out, and he's pretty efficient when he does that. But you can only be successful throwing the ball in a scramble situation if your receiver adjusts properly. And you can see when he looks back, he knows what's going on. Send up a flare and keep coming back to the quarterback, which makes it very difficult for the defender behind him, even if he's directly behind him, to stop the pass from being completed if the ball's there.
Foggy has favored his wide receivers with 4 throws there, 3 to the slots, only 1 of the running backs. First down from center field. Foggy in the pocket and throws, and almost a spectacular one-handed catch by Jeff Boyd, and there is a penalty flag on the play. Well, the Argos will be moved back. I think that's the first holding call of the game.
Ottawa came with a blitz, bringing some extra people. They don't like to do it a lot because they...
Holding. Toronto number 5. First down repeated.
They feel like they expose themselves too much. They don't get to the quarterback quick enough, which ultimately puts pressure in a one-on-one situation downfield. Kevin Smelly, who lines up at the running back spot, was caught holding middle linebacker Holmes in that blitz.
So first down and 20. Argos at their 45-yard line. A minute 36 left in the first half. Ottawa leading by 3. Foggy running for his life. Lloyd Lewis takes him out. So does Holmes. Flags all over the place. And that'll be roughing against the Ottawa Rough Riders. And the Argos are some upset about it, and they should be.
I'd be more upset if I was Steve Goldman on the other side. Defense is doing a pretty good job of stopping this Argo offense and stopping Foggy on that play. He's out of bounds. He's not going anywhere.
Of course, Holmes was with Toronto, traded to Ottawa last year, and he is a take-no-prisoners kind of player.
Look at the hustle by Lewis all the way across the field. Right there, an elbow to the head.
Major foul. Unnecessary roughness. Ottawa number 53. First down.
You know, it's a play like that, really, where 15 yards doesn't seem like enough.
I can't get over why it's done.
I'm sure Bruce Holmes would tell you the heat of the moment. It cost Ottawa 15 yards. And the Argos are at the Ottawa 48. Foggy from the shotgun. Lots of time now to do what he wants, and he throws to Clemens, and he is hit hard by Charles Wright, who has really had some second quarter. Clemens, though, will gain 5 or 6 yards.
That's impressive the way Wright comes up. He puts a good shot on. So many times defenders are happy, and I can understand why, to put a good lick on someone and knock him back. But Wright not only puts a shot on him, but wraps up that leg and hangs on for dear life and waits for some help.
2 interceptions in this quarter. That gains 7 yards to Mike Clemens. Second down and 3 Argos. A minute 10 left now in the first half. Toronto trailing Ottawa 17-14. Foggy fakes. Now he throws it deep down the right side for Darrell Smith, and it's knocked away. Good coverage at the 5-yard line by Sean Foodie.
The graduate from York University had good position and really became the receiver. And watch, Smith runs a wheel. He's got him beat for a second, but good catch up. And now Smith has to make sure Foodie doesn't catch the ball.
Sean Foodie, a second-year player from York University. Don Matthews and the Argos face a third down and 3 at the 41-yard line of the Ottawa Rough Riders, and it looks like they will go for it.
And this is where the defense of the Riders have to be alert, be prepared for anything.
And when the game doesn't mean anything in the standings, you can do these kinds of things, although Matthews has shown this year that he'll do anything at any time just about. Foggy will run. He's close to the first down. The spot will be absolutely critical, and it'll be inches one way or the other by the looks of things. They needed to get to the 33-yard line, and they are just nosing the 33-yard line. The 38, pardon me. So this will come down to mere inches as to whether or not the Argos keep the ball or give it to Ottawa.
No, baby, no! No, baby!
And they got it.
Now the Ottawa offense has to come back off the field. They were already in a huddle. A design situation. See the offensive lines pulling around to the short side. Good pursuit by the defense. Bruce Holmes has to get away from some people, and now they're just tugging now. Comes McGowan and just a host of them.
Foggy just made it. 40 seconds left now, first half. Argos keep the ball. They're at the 38 of Ottawa. Foggy gets the pass away with tremendous pressure from Ottawa. No good intended for Clemens, but Foggy won't mind that because he prevented the loss. Glenn Kulka was one of the Ottawa Rough Riders in Ricky Foggy's kitchen.
Well, the ex-Argo has taken many a snap in practice against these offensive linemen, particularly Prunster and Schultz. They've been having a little bit of fun out there.
Don Matthews says he gets extremely nervous before games, as all coaches do. But this situation's a little bit different because win or lose, the Argos know they'll play the East semifinal here next Sunday afternoon. 2nd and 10 Argos. Ottawa 38-yard line. Foggy again flushed out of the pocket. Throws for Darrell Smith, and he's got it for a touchdown.
Go figure, if you watch Darrell Smith down the field, you're going to have to watch his movement. He's going to come back inside right here. Look at him make the move. And then he makes the adjustment to the football. Foggy throws it to the open area, knowing very well if Smith's on his feet, and even if he's not, he'll get to the football.
Not exactly the way that play was designed. The 20th touchdown of the year for Darrell Smith. Lance Chomick with the convert, and the Argos lead 21-17 with 24 seconds left in the first half.
See, Foggy's under a little bit of a stressful situation, and again, there is no one out there in coverage to the outside of where the secondary man is, so Foggy can't lose. He lays it out, knowing very well, and many times before, Smith has adjusted.
And the 20th touchdown ties the CFL single season record set by Pat Abruzzi with Montreal back in 1956. And there's a look at Pat Abruzzi, who scored 20 touchdowns in 56 when they only played 14 games.
Good job, man. Congratulations. Go get it, man. My boy Pinball gonna beat you out, though, baby. Great job.
That's a message for Craig Ellis from Darrell Smith, who has just tied the CFL record for touchdowns in a year, saying Pinball going to beat you out, meaning for the Outstanding Player Award.
They've been sending messages back and forth by way of the airwaves all year.
Well, Darrell Smith has sent a loud message to the entire league with his play this season. What a year he's had. Reggie Barnes with a kickoff return up to the 34 of Ottawa. 19 seconds left in the first half. You know, receivers have to adjust to the ball, but that was really some play by Darrell Smith.
All the awareness that he has on the field and always looking back, you know, his concentration is excellent, and when he does look back, I think there's that unwritten rule. They know where they're going to throw the ball, and the quarterback takes a bit of a chance, but a calculated risk when you've got some talent downfield, as Foggy has.
Ricky Foggy's been intercepted 3 times tonight, but undaunted, he is still gunning away, and now has 2 touchdown passes, has scored 1 himself. And off to Reggie Barnes on first down, and he has a gain of 6 out across the 40.
Well, if you're going to get flushed out as a quarterback, I think if you're right-handed, you want to go to your right, and that's what happens here. Gets a chance to control himself just a bit before he releases the ball downfield, and then just lays back and watches another touchdown.
Says, I know Darrell will get that ball. I mean,
Hello, everybody.
it's just like that.
Back in Minnesota, Mom, Dad.
And off to Reggie Barnes by Ottawa across the 45. He'll have a first down, but that play ends the first half. And what a first half it was, and the Argos will have a 4-point lead as Ottawa fights for the playoffs. Toronto 20. Toronto Argos enjoy a 4-point lead on the Ottawa Rough Riders at halftime. A game Ottawa has to win or tie in order to clinch the 3rd and final playoff spot in the East Division of the CFL. Neil Lumsden, how do you assess Ottawa's first half effort at nailing down a playoff berth?
I like their consistency, especially defensively, turning the ball over, giving their offense a chance to really jump on Toronto. I don't think they can abandon the running game, though. They're not down by much, and there's an awful lot of football yet to be played. They have to continue and look to drive the football as they've done a couple times. I think that's going to be the key for Ottawa, putting some drives together and putting points on the board as a result of the drives.
You know, the thing you have to like about Ricky Foggy, he was intercepted 3 times, Neil, but he kept coming back and doing the same things.
Well, you see the smile on his face regardless of whether he throws a touchdown pass or an interception. He's got the great attitude, he's resilient, his thick skin, and he knows he's going to come back and throw another ball. It may get picked off, and it probably won't, and that's his attitude.
And of course, Daryl Smith had a sensational first half, which wouldn't surprise any of us because he's had a sensational season. 118 yards in the first half on 4 catches. And the Ottawa Rough Riders, Neil, need to do something about him in the second half, I would think.
I think they're going to try to play more solid defense against Smith. Maybe bump him off the line of scrimmage, not let him get downfield and have his way in the secondary. But I also think they're going to have to put some pressure on Foggy just with their front 4.
And I'm not sure what you do to stop plays like the one that Smith scored on late in the second quarter where he adjusted to the ball. That was just a sensational play. Really, there's no defense against that. So it's easier said than done. We're underway in the second half at the Sky Dome as Dorsey kicks off to Mike Clemens. Riders have done a good job stifling the pinball tonight on the kick returns. He's up close to the 45-yard line, but he has not come close to breaking one. A 20-yard run back that time of a 50-yard Dorsey kickoff.
Well, Don Matthews had said yesterday in preparation for this game, he said our players shouldn't take what Ottawa plans to do in the talk and use that as motivation. They should be able to come out game in and game out, regardless of what the other team says or do, and rely on that internal motivation. That motivation to get to the Eastern Final, win it, and get to the Grey Cup.
Look at the play selection there. Interesting to watch Ricky Foggy come out of the field there and kibitz with Charles Wright, who's intercepted him twice. Foggy throws for Andrew Murray down the middle. That tells you just what kind of a relaxed demeanor Ricky Foggy has, and he's laughing on that play too.
But don't think he's not serious.
Oh,
I mean, you see that big smile, and it's great to see because he's having fun, and that's the whole idea of this game, is to go out there and have some fun and understand there's going to be some good and bad, but make sure there's a lot more good than bad.
Well, he's very intense. He just doesn't show it like most players do. And they love him. The Argos are delighted to have him. 2nd and 10. Stuman, nobody blocked him. Foggy gets it away to the pinball. Mike Clemens at the 46 to the 50, and he breaks a couple of tackles. This is Mike Clemens at his vintage best. He's to the 20, the 15, the 10, and he'll score.
At his best. There's trouble, so it's time to freelance. Stuman forces Foggy out. Clemens gives him an opportunity, and then it becomes open the curtain because here comes Mike Clemens. Flagel's got him. Somebody else comes in and bumps off another tackler. A little bit of celebration downfield by Daryl Smith. Then he turns into a blocker. He puts a block on Hunter, and Clemens makes a great move. He gets himself in the end zone, and that's nothing short of spectacular.
That's the 12th touchdown of the year for Mike Clemens, and the 7th that he has scored on a pass reception. There's an injured player. That's why we have a bit of a delay here. But boy, I'll tell you, that's again Mike Clemens. That's what he's done all season long, and it looked like just a dump off by Foggy to get himself out of a bit of a jam, and Clemens turns it into a 65-yard touchdown. Daryl Smith was shaken up, helping Clemens into the end zone.
You know, if you time Clemens in a 40, I'm sure there's some people with a faster 40 speed than Mike Clemens, but he's got great football speed and that ability to make people miss and break tackles.
And extremely strong. He's only 5'6", 175, 180, but very, very powerful.
Very determined too.
That too.
And you can't do any of it unless you want to go get it. And Mike Clemens is as tough to bring down as anyone, regardless of their size.
Well, Don Matthews has said all year we're in the entertainment business, and if you like your football, the entertainment value of Mike Pinball Clemens is right up there.
This has to have not only Argo fans, but the coaching staff, specifically Don Matthews on the other side of the field, 65 yards away, concerned with Daryl Smith still on his back on the ground.
Ninth 100-yard game of the season, included in that 9 a couple of 200-yard receiving games, and he will be taken to the dressing room on a golf cart. And you know that Don Matthews, you saw that head shake, that tells the whole story there.
And we won't even begin to speculate what might the problem be. We just hope it's not serious.
Well, and you can't say they should not play people in games like this, Neil, because first of all, the rosters are too small. You don't have enough backups to rest all your frontline players. The other thing is you've got maybe 40,000 people in here tonight paying good money to see the best players these two teams have. And if they're healthy, they should play. The convert added by Lance Chomick. So it's 28-17. The Argos leading the Ottawa Rough Riders.
The other side of that is if you even consider taking a player like Daryl Smith out of the lineup, you go tell him. Because no one wants to play more than these guys, and they don't want to sit down. They don't think about injury. It's the last thing that comes into their mind.
Well, Winnipeg clinched first place just over 2 weeks ago, and they have played all their frontline players in the last 2 weeks, games that meant nothing in the standings for them. But again, when you have a 36-man roster, 24 starters, you can only spot so many people in there. Mike Clemens with that 65-yard touchdown on the pass from Ricky Foggy. He's caught 3 tonight for 77 yards. And that puts him at 884 receiving yards in the season. And there's encouraging news as Daryl Smith is off the golf cart and up at the sideline. A Essex kickoff, and it's a long one down to Jeff Smith at the 7-yard line. Good return by Smith all the way out to the 34-yard line. Stacey Dossie, who would normally have been back there, was injured in the first half. A 27-yard return by Jeff Smith. Damon Allen and the Ottawa offense have their work cut out now, looking at an 11-point deficit.
Allen has to come back now and really stick with the game plan. Continue to diversify, use his offense and the people that are open, and don't try to force the ball deep. Put the ball where it belongs, to the open man.
Allen to the sideline, David Williams, and again Allen not taking any chances. If something isn't clearly there, he has thrown it away. I don't know how many times has Damon Allen gone downfield with the ball tonight, Neil. Not very often.
No, he's been satisfied to take what I think Steve Goldman would like him to do, is take what the defense gives you. There's no opportunity on that particular play to go downfield because both the slot and Williams at the outside are running outs because of the way the defense is playing.
Damon Allen has only completed 2 of his last 10 passes. He's 2nd down and 10 now from the Ottawa 34-yard line. And here's a throw downfield. Jeff Smith reaching down to make the catch, and he made it up at the 51-yard line. Good grab by Smith and a first down for Ottawa.
I think when you talk about Jeff Smith, people will probably remind you that his abilities as an inside receiver are exactly what we had seen there. Controlled football, be able to get the ball wherever it has been thrown. That's sort of his trademark. That was a heck of a catch to get down, get your hands underneath it before it touched the turf.
And we'll probably see Smith return more kicks as Stacey Dossie will not be back in the game, injured in the first half. First down Ottawa from the 50. Damon Allen decided to take off and run, but he ran into Marcus Thomas, and he'll lose a yard or 2.
Well, Thomas from that wide side of the field is coming. See everyone step down inside, and Damon Allen, because of James Parker breaking free, tries to get upfield, but they close that down. If you want your quarterback to run as a defense, you want him to run to the heart of the defense. That's where the middle linebacker is and where Thomas was.
That's Daryl Smith, and it looks like he is recovering from that shot he took when he blocked for Clemens going into the end zone. They're still checking him over, but it's great to see him standing there and not heading for the dressing room. That's nothing but good news. 2nd and 12. Damon Allen, sideline pass for Stephon Jones, but it is no good, and Ottawa will have to punt it away.
We talked earlier about Toronto wanting to make Damon Allen throw before he wanted to. I think that was a classic example of Allen not really getting the chance to set up and really still backpedaling when he threw the football.
He did not drive through that pass. Terry Baker into punt on 3rd down and 12. There's a flag. They whistle a play dead, actually, as the ball was snapped by the Ottawa Rough Riders, but I don't think the teams were properly lined up. Either that or referee Jake Ireland had not given them the go-ahead. Whatever, they'll do it again. 28-17 Argos. Don Matthews looking for his 10th win of the season. And Damon Allen and the Ottawa Rough Riders searching for their 8th victory. And the significance for them would be a place in the playoffs. Baker very nearly had that one blocked. They've been after him all night long. And here's Mike Clemens, and he's got some room, folks. All the way to the 50-yard line of the Ottawa Rough Riders. I'd like to welcome everybody who's watching on the Canadian Football Network tonight and hoping that the Ottawa Rough Riders can win or tie this game and earn a playoff spot for the first time since 1985. They had their work cut out, down by 11. 11 and a half minutes left, 3rd quarter, and the Argos 1st and 10 at the Ottawa 50 after a 33-yard punt return by Mike Clemens. Jeff Boyd has a pass from Foggy, and he's down to the Ottawa 43. Patrick Wayne and Brett Young threw Boyd out of bounds. Jeff Boyd has gone over the 1,000-yard mark in receiving tonight, and he also has a touchdown.
With Smith out, they've got Paul Nastasiak, number 27, in at that other slot back position.
Jeff Boyd goes to the other side this time. 2nd down and 3. Argos, Ottawa 43-yard line. Foggy hands off to Kevin Smelly, and he's across the 40 down to the 39, maybe the 38-yard line. Lloyd Lewis made the stop. Patrick Wayne helped him out, but Smelly, who has not handled the ball a lot in the second half of the season, gets the 1st down, and there's a simple reason for that, according to Don Matthews.
You have to spread it around. There's only one ball in each game, and though everyone wants it, and that's the way your coach wants to have it as far as desire to make a play. You've got to be able to share.
And you give it a lot to this guy right here, Mike Clemens, who fights for a couple of yards. And of course, Darrell Smith is another player who you want to get it to quite a bit. And then Jeff Boyd needs it a few times, and Andrew Murray, and you get back to Kevin Smelly, and he's going to have to be content for the most part with blocking.
You can have some fun blocking too, you know.
I know you believe that very strongly. Darrell Smith will be back, or at least is capable of coming back. He has a wrenched neck and apparently is all right.
He is also their disaster quarterback. Darrell Smith took some snaps at the quarterback position the last couple days, just in case the quarterback injury bug hit the Argos tonight.
2nd and 8 for Ricky Foggy. Jeff Boyd makes the catch. Was he inbounds? Yeah, they say he was at the 27-yard line of the Ottawa Rough Riders. And that'll be a 1st down for the Argos.
Well, Mike Clemens, we've seen come out of the backfield. He'll line up a wide receiver, slot back, in between a slot and a wide receiver. And occasionally, he'll have to hang in there and block. And tell me he doesn't like to stick his nose in there. He doesn't hit you very high, but that's the spot where you want to put your helmet, right in the chest.
There's your 100-pound mismatch right there. Lloyd Lewis and Mike Clemens. 1st down, Argos. Mike has the ball now. He likes this much better. And he gets down to the 22-yard line for a gain of 5, maybe 6. And those were tough yards again. But there's just no putting the pinball down.
Well, he gained past the line of scrimmage 5. But when he gets the ball, he's 4 yards deep in the backfield. They had him dead to rights. So though the statistics won't show it, I'll give him a gain of about 7 or 8.
Tremendous cutting ability.
Well,
Mike Clemens.
He stops on a dime. And then his acceleration from those stopping and cutting points is tremendous.
1 step and he's going full speed. 2nd down and 5. Argos at the Ottawa 22. 8:50 left, 3rd quarter. It's a key series for the Ottawa defense. Very important that they turn the Argos back, and Ricky Foggy's going to get around that corner and get a 1st down, it looked like. They mark him out at the 17-yard line, and he'll be very close to a Toronto 1st down. Well, the development of Ricky Foggy this year, since Toronto picked him up from BC, has been one of the remarkable stories of the year. He had been relegated to slot back duty with the Lions. Hadn't shown a lot in the last couple of years as a member of the BC Lions as a quarterback, and all of a sudden he comes here, and with Matthews and Matt Dunnigan working with him and Adam Rita, the guy has blossomed.
I think Adam Rita always thought very highly of Foggy's abilities, but he never really had a chance to highlight those abilities or even get a chance to practice them and work on some of his skills during the practice time throughout the weeks. And a lot of people can't believe that he was even allowed to leave BC. At that time, the organization felt, I guess, he was expendable. And he got snapped up very quickly.
2 years in BC, he only threw a total of 131 passes in the 2 seasons, so he didn't play very much, but he's had a lot of chance to play here, and he's played well. He throws to Daryl Smith in the end zone, and he nearly made a tremendous catch against Brett Young. So Daryl Smith, who moments ago looked like he may have a serious injury, is back in the game.
Well, a wrench neck, I guess, isn't enough. I think we have to look at the position of Brett Young, 21. This is just outstanding coverage, forcing Smith to make nothing but short of a spectacular catch if he's going to get the touchdown. Good coverage.
2nd and 10 Argos at the Ottawa 16. Toronto leading 28-17. 8 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Foggy off his back foot into the end zone. Touchdown, Clemens.
Bruce Holmes is stuck, the middle linebacker, in coverage. And when I say stuck, I say that because it's no picnic. And you can see Clemens with that quickness. He knows the ball's coming. Now Holmes is trying to catch up to Clemens. He has no idea the ball's even be released. He makes a gallant effort, but by that time, Clemens has got the ball in his clutches and is on the ground for a touchdown.
And the convert added by Lance Chomick, and now the Argos have opened up a 35-17 lead. Lots of Ottawa fans in the Sky Dome tonight, including the Rough Rider cheerleaders. A crowd of in excess of 36,000 as Hank Alisic really gets into this kickoff down to the 5-yard line. Reggie Barnes. And he is stopped at the 20. Keith Costello among the Argos downfield. A 70-yard kickoff and a 16-yard return.
A tough predicament to put your middle linebacker in, and I don't care who he is, to match him up with Clemens. Automatically his quickness is going to take you by, and as Holmes struggles to catch up. Foggy reads that when he's open, and the wrestling match is won by number 31, and Clemens' name is in the Argo record book. You know, he's got the most kickoff return yards in a season, most punt return yards in a season, over 1,000 combined yards in a game, 351 in September. I mean, what can you say about the guy?
Damon Allen completes to Ellingson, wide open at the 35 to the 40. He's to the 45. Good gain. 24 yards for the Ottawa Rough Riders, and they need some big plays on offense right now.
At least plays that will now start to establish some kind of movement for the offense and give their defense a chance and get some breath and get a rest, because it's what they're not doing now. What they did in the first half is control the football.
Time of possession, Ottawa had the ball for 17 of the 30 minutes in the first half. You're right. It's been a different story in this 3rd quarter. Allen with the fake. Browner does a great job, but Allen gets the ball away and completes it to Ellingson at the 48-yard line of the Argos. Kind of a slingshot throw by Damon Allen, with Keith Browner looking him right in the eye.
Well, not only are Ottawa trying to get the defense to react on the play action, they're pulling the offensive lineman to go to the one side. But Browner was bitten the first time by that play. The last few times that they've run it, they haven't been able to influence him to the point where Allen could waltz out and have plenty of time. And again, good effort by Damon Allen to run and get the ball to Ellingson.
Ellingson looks like he needs a break, but he won't get one as Ottawa comes out from the Toronto 48, 1st and 10. That was a 17-yard gain. Damon Allen, and he's going to take off and run with it. Cuts back, Down to the 40 and inside of the 39-yard line for a gain of 8 yards. 6 minutes, 40 seconds left, third quarter. Toronto leading 35-17, but Ottawa marching, and that's what they need as the defense of the Riders gets a badly needed rest.
That Argo offense is a very tiring one to defend because of their abilities to run not only up and down the field, but laterally. You're chasing a lot of people. It's not just the hitting and the impact that's normal. But when you got to chase these guys all over the field, it's even tougher.
Second down and a couple. Blocking strength in. The handoff, Reggie Barnes. He's to the 30. Barnes to the 25, hanging onto the ball. Tackled by Barry at the 22-yard line.
Well, a hair away from busting that one all the way down. You said there's only one man, number 13, between Barnes and the goal line. Again, Illebroon comes around. He kicks out, and Barnes hits that hole with some speed, not really allowing that middle area to react and get a hand on him.
Ed Barry saves a touchdown. He was the only man that could stop Barnes once he got through that opening. 1st and 10, Ottawa, Toronto 22-yard line. Allen fakes the draw to Barnes. Lots of time. Throws wide open at the 5 is Williams. He's hit hard, but he hangs on and has a first down for the Ottawa Rough Riders.
I don't know if you could hear it, but even on the fake, you could hear the players call draw. You get the defenders calling out the play, even, and it's a play action. You know you've done something right. And Allen really relaxes, giving the impression that he's given the ball away. Watch this. Just sort of slow down, just step back and watch what happens. There goes Williams across your screen to the right. The coverage is behind, and Allen lays it out where it has to be.
Safety Van Bellingham came up to make the stop. 1st and goal, Ottawa, Toronto 5-yard line. Damon Allen looks in the end zone, puts it deep, and it's a touchdown. Stephon Jones.
Shows some pretty good character by that offense of the Riders to put that drive together when they needed it. And they did need it. Up over top, again a situation where you throw the ball in the end zone. You want just one man to have the opportunity to catch it, and it's right in the corner. Good pattern, good pass.
We've seen some outstanding offensive execution tonight, and that play was a classic example of it. Ellingson is shaken up. That was a 6-play, 90-yard drive. Stephon Jones capping it with a touchdown. And it's exactly what Ottawa needed, as they had fallen behind by 18, and now the convert could make it an 11-point game. I think Ellingson is just tired.
Well, we saw a number of plays ago in this drive where Ellingson was looking a little bit stressed but would not go out. To his credit, he stays in till the job's done. And you know, playing in this dome as it is in BC Place Stadium, it gets very warm. It's warm for us up here in the booth, and the players feel the same way. And I think the Argos understand that if they can keep a pace up, even though they don't practice here, it's to their advantage, and the opposition feels it.
It's the 11th touchdown of the year for Stephon Jones, and they look rather fatigued at the Ottawa bench. Brian Illebroon, one of the offensive linemen, and you know, the Argos who play here, of course, all their home games have said that it is difficult to breathe in this building. Chris Schultz, the offensive tackle for Toronto, has said that it can be very hard to get your breath in here. I think Ellingson is finding that out. Dorsey adds the convert, and so it's 35-24 Toronto. 4:46 left, third quarter. Damon Allen has just thrown his 33rd touchdown pass of the season to tie the Ottawa club record for touchdown throws in a season set by Russ Jackson back in 1969. Here's the kickoff by Dorsey. Clemens at the 14 of the Argos. Mike Clemens is up to the 40-yard line with one of his patented little moves. Stephon Jones on the receiving end of that touchdown throw by Allen.
And known for his burn-like speed, but watch the change of pace and the stutter step when he goes down right there. And that little bit of that slowing down a little bit gets Barry to just relax for that millisecond. And then he turns that speed back on, and that gives him that step behind the coverage, which makes a difference.
And he's close to his season average, Stephon Jones, which was over 20 per reception. Now the onus is on the Ottawa Rough Rider defense to get the ball back for their offense from the 40. Darrell Smith is not in the game. Ricky Foggy throws to Clemens, who's hit hard by Charles Wright. Or Pat McGowan, pardon me, it wasn't Charles Wright. Paul McGowan made the tackle.
The running backs, no linebackers come. Smelly goes one way and Clemens is the other. That's the third read to this side. And McGowan, as he showed many times, I like the way he plays linebacker. He's good and tough, makes good shots, but he wraps people up, and you have to wrap people up, especially Clemens, as we see Smith on the sidelines.
Smith hurt in the third quarter. He did come back for a couple of plays, but he's resting now. 2nd and 6. Foggy for Andrew Murray, but the pass thrown behind him. It was actually Jeff Boyd, the intended receiver. 3.5 minutes left in the third quarter, and the Argos will have to punt, so the Ottawa defense has done what they wanted and needed to do from an Ottawa point of view, and they have forced the Argos to punt it to Damon Allen now in the offense, so they can go to work again and try to cut more into that deficit, which is 11 points right now. Toronto 35, Ottawa 24.
Hey, Dana, come on, baby.
Hank Olisic has not had much work tonight. He's kicked off very well. Very deep with his kickoffs. And Scott Flagel nearly got through to block the punt. There's a flag down. As the ball goes over the head of Jeff Smith, he's all the way back to his 20 and out to the 25. There is a flag on the play. And if it's contacting the kicker, it'll be a first down for Toronto. And Scott Flagel knows it.
Ottawa puts some pressure on, certainly not as much as.
Contacting the kicker. Ottawa number 14. First down.
As Toronto has put on Baker, Flagel goes around, then comes back inside. His target point is the ball. But that extension by Olisic, and when Olisic kicks, he lifts that left leg off and it carries him a bit in the air. And that's what Flagel bumped into.
Well, that's the risk you run when you try to block a punt. If you don't get it, chances are you'll contact the kicker. Flagel did. And the Argos will hold on to the ball from their 54 with a 1st and 10. And Foggy looking to put it upstairs, and now he'll just head straight upfield down to the 36-yard line. A 20-yard run by Ricky Foggy, who made it look easy.
How many times have we seen a team take advantage, be it an interception or turnover? This time it's a second chance. The rush is coming up the field. You can see 4 of the defenders up past. Mandridge is left as the anchor to check for things like that, draw a quarterback run. But that's a tough assignment when Foggy goes blowing by you.
That's appropriately put. He blew down to the 36-yard line of the Ottawa Rough Riders. 20-yard gain, 19-yard gain, and Foggy, there's that double fake action again, and the throw no good as Scott Flagel made a play on the receiver, Jeff Boyd, and actually it looked like a ball that could maybe be picked off.
Well, we spoke about spreading the ball around and how Toronto likes to take advantage of all their assets.
Mike Clemens has caught all of the running back passes. Smith has caught all of the slot back passes, and Boyd all of the wide receiver passes. So he's spread it around, but to a select group.
To half the group.
2nd and 10. We'll see where Foggy goes on this from the Ottawa 36-yard line. 1:50 left, third quarter. And they just can't get to Ricky Foggy. And he has another first down as he does that little stutter step, and then is hit hard, and there's another roughing penalty. And again, it's Bruce Holmes. And Chris Schultz is there to tangle with Holmes, and we may have some ejections here. Second time tonight, Bruce Holmes has taken a late shot at Ricky Foggy going out of bounds.
Not only a late shot, it's a shot to the head. It's one thing to push someone out of bounds. It's another thing to try to hang him to dry by clotheslining him. And you know, Bob, it's great to play with emotion. And that's what this game's all about. but the good people and the good players and teams can control that emotion and channel it into a positive force.
Well, that was just vicious. See it again. Foggy is on the sidelines fighting for yardage, but boy, there's no need for that. See, now if they don't throw him out of the game for that, I don't know what the referees are thinking. I really don't. Schultz immediately moved in, and you can't fault him for that. Never mind whether the hit was late or not. You don't shiver a guy in the head like that.
You sure don't. Hey, they could accumulate enough yards on that penalty to take them out onto the street.
That's just bad business all the way. Ricky Foggy, thankfully, looks like he's okay, and he gets up smiling, which we might expect. And they have thrown Bruce Holmes out of the game, and Chris Schultz as well, for the altercation that occurred after the play. And Holmes, incredibly, well, I guess it's not surprising he's angry.
There's a disqualification for fighting. Ottawa 53. Disqualification for fighting. Toronto 67. First down.
Well, Schultz was on the bench to begin with because Kardash is playing left tackle. For those who wondered why he was that far and that quickly over there without a helmet on.
Ricky Foggy and Bruce Holmes, interestingly enough, were teammates at the University of Minnesota. But when you're not on the same team, anything goes in the mind of Bruce Holmes anyway. Willie Gillis comes in to play some quarterback for the Toronto Argos, and from the 11, he'll try to run it in. And he's stopped at the 4-yard line. Greg Stuman was able to run him down. Big Willie Gillis, former BC Lion, with Ottawa for a period of time, out of football before the Argos brought him in.
The Argos brought him in from Virginia, where he's working with some rehabilitation with convicts. I tell you, this is why people talk so highly about Stuman. Tremendous hustle, away from the play, chases Gillis down all the way across the field.
Second down and a couple for the Argos at the Ottawa 3. Toronto leading by 11. A minute left, third quarter. Gillis to Mike Clemens. And he got the touchdown.
That deep handoff allows Clemens a pretty good view, and you're going to see why he chooses where he does. Cuts back here behind the block of the offensive line, and with that quick feed, even in the grasp of number 27, Daniel Hunter, that last spin puts him in the end zone, and one of the first guys over to congratulate him is the other half of the dynamic duel.
A 70-yard drive, and Mike Clemens has scored 3 touchdowns in the third quarter.
And in 3 very different ways. Talk about being outstanding to get in the end zone. Look at the tenacity. He's in the grasp. He's got 2 yards to go, and he keeps fighting.
Ankalicic's kickoff bounces at the 20. Barnes has it at the 15-yard line. Reggie Barnes to the 20 and up to the 25, maybe the 26-yard line. And there is Mike Clemens. 3 touchdowns in this quarter, giving him 14 on the season as he caps off a tremendous year with a spectacular night. That's Stacey Dossie, who went out in the first half. His left ankle wrapped up. So the Riders see their hopes of clinching a playoff spot tonight slipping away as the third quarter winds to an end. They're down by 18 points. And they start from their 26-yard line. Damon Allen to David Conrad to the 35. And up to the 41 for a first down. Throw by Damon Allen for David Williams, no good. Second and 10, Damon Allen and the Ottawa Rough Riders from their 41-yard line. This will be the last play of the third quarter unless there's a penalty. Allen drops back to pass, lots of time downfield. Jeff Smith diving catch. Argo 50-yard line, a first down, and a positive note for the Ottawa Rough Riders as the third quarter ends. That demeanor of his is really infectious. Now here's a guy who got his bell rung and by Bruce Holmes, who got thrown out of the game a few plays ago, but gave it a couple of shakes and he's feeling good and smiling and laughing again. Fourth quarter begins. Ottawa first down. Damon Allen fakes and then throws with a big charge coming. Did a good job to just get rid of the football as the Toronto Argos broke through on Damon Allen. Ottawa Rough Riders face an 18-point deficit, 1 quarter left in a game that they need to tie or win to clinch third place in a playoff spot.
Talking about the Argos breaking through there. They had Don Wilson, the wide side halfback, to the field on a blitz.
Willie Gillis throwing at the sidelines. It looks like he's going to stay in and play quarterback for the Argos. Damon Allen in the pocket. Has a man on the flat and gets it off to him, but Brazeley's in there and makes a good hit on Reggie Barnes. It'll be a gain of close to 5 yards, but it'll leave Ottawa with a 3rd and 5 at the Argo 47-yard line, and it looks like Steve Goldman will send the punting team on.
It's been some time since they've last sent Terry Baker on the field to punt, and Ottawa fans hope within that time they've been able to huddle on the sidelines around the bench and correct whatever they were doing wrong on punt protection, because Terry Baker's really got to be wondering when he gets his snap who's coming from where. They have to shore up the middle and work inside out on this punt protection.
Third down and about 6 yards to go. Scott Flagel late getting out of the field. And it looks like Ottawa is going to take a delay of game penalty. Terry Baker sees things he doesn't quite think are right, so he would not call for the snap of the football, and instead
Time count violation. Ottawa number 10. Still third down.
Takes the penalty. They have enough players on there, but there was something about the alignment that Baker didn't like.
Yeah, it didn't look like they were coming after him. They had set 4 or 5 off the line. They put their down lineman down. Looks to me like a defense that anticipates a fake.
And maybe that was on Terry Baker's mind. He is going to punt. If he wasn't before, he does now, and it's an excellent punt. Pinball Clemens at the 5-yard line. And he's down at the 9. Good coverage by the Ottawa Rough Riders. Sean Foodie down there. The woman in the center of your screen who looks to be chewing her fingernails is Joanne Polak, the general manager of the Ottawa Rough Riders. As Damon Allen takes off, puts his head down, and gets across the 15 of the Argo 14, close to a first down. 2:51 left. Third quarter, Steve Goldman's Ottawa Rough Riders down by 18 points as they attempt to clinch a playoff spot on their own. It looks like they're going to need help from Winnipeg.
Steve Goldman looks back to the start of the year, and I think he anticipated his football team would be better coming out of the gates because of the talent that they had. And it's funny, he was saying at the press conference, he was looking down the roster and the number of years the players have been with the team. And if you look at the Ottawa Rough Riders, I think they've only got 5 players in their starting lineup that have been with the Riders for 5 years and more, where the Argos have got 15 players. So there's that history that makes a big point as far as the cohesiveness and playing together, which is important.
Well, you know, you have to say a lot for Ottawa too, Neil, in that they were 1-6, bounced back, won 4 games in a row to get it up to 4-6, and then they lost that game to Hamilton 3 weeks ago, and everybody wrote them off, but they came back and beat Winnipeg back-to-back. while Hamilton lost to Calgary and Edmonton to put themselves in the driver's seat. So they've shown some resiliency this season. Allen throws down to the goal line, and it's a touchdown. David Williams makes a wonderful catch with 2:35 left.
Goes down and takes it away almost. As you can see him hold his stomach. I think he landed on the ball. The ball was thrown where it had to be, down low. No chance of interception, but when one chance, if Williams can get down low enough. That's a heck of a catch. And number 2, Pleasant was right behind him. Good coverage.
David Allen has broken the club record for touchdown passes in a year set by Russ Jackson in 1969. He now has 34. Here's a 2-point convert try by the Rough Riders. Allen throws, and Ellingson has it. No, they say he didn't catch the ball. They say he didn't have control, and he's not arguing. So the call is the right one.
Well, the official was in the perfect position, standing right on the goal line. He had a great view. See the look on Damon Allen's face. He's obviously not pleased they weren't successful with this attempt. Ball must have gone through the arms of Ellingson, bounced up into his chest as he rolled. Quick post by David Williams. He's got the coverage behind him. On contact, the ball just arrives. And again, good catch.
Well, now the Ottawa Rough Riders, with the 2-point convert failing, are 12 points behind at 42-30, so they need 2 touchdowns to win this game. A touchdown and a field goal will do them no good at all.
Toronto kickoff return team preparing for a short kicker, figuring that Ottawa might go for it. They have what they call as their hands team, which are predominantly made up of receivers and defensive backs. All the guys with the great hands. Well, they're supposedly great hands.
And it will be a short kickoff. Dorsey puts it up in the air very high, tipped out of bounds by David Williams, but it didn't travel 10 yards. And Williams may have been out of bounds as well. One thing the kicker has to do on that play is get it 10 yards downfield. And Dorsey wasn't able to do that. Matthews wants the penalty declined, and the Argos will be happy to take the ball there.
Illegal kickoff. Ottawa number 2. Decline. First down.
As you said, you got to give it a chance. If it doesn't travel 10, it doesn't much matter what happens unless Toronto comes up and fumbles it. As you can see, Williams a good yard and a half out of bounds, held in by Andrew Murray, an old teammate from the Lions.
2:33 left. 42-30 for the Ottawa Rough Riders over the Toronto Argos over the Ottawa Rough Riders. As the Argos have rolled up the points again tonight. Here's a handoff to Kevin Smelly, and he puts his shoulder down and drives to the 36-yard line of Ottawa for a gain of 7 yards.
That was Brent Lewis, who's taken home spot in that middle. He laid a lick on him, didn't he? You can hear it up here.
Yeah, they both got some power into that hit. Well, it's the 13th game that Toronto has scored more than 30 points. Edmonton had 14 of them last year. The 8th game that they've had more than 40. The Eskimos had 5 last year. Argos on 2nd and 3. And the handoff to Smelly, who squirts through for a first down to the 30 and inside with 2:23 to go. Toronto's also had 4 games this season where they've scored more than 50 points. And Edmonton, who had the record for points last year, did it twice last season. So
Joe Pow, Major Harris. One jelly bean next play. Hi, everybody. Ray Alexander.
Ricky Foggy's kind of running out of people.
We'll have to come back to him.
I'll give you a few minutes, Ricky, to think about it. Willie Gillis. Flagel in the backfield, but Gillis gets away. Willie Gillis might go into the end zone. Touchdown!
One of the first out to help him celebrate. maybe more appropriately congratulate Gillis as the man with the hat, Rick Foggy. Ottawa had a chance. They're running a safety blitz. Here's Flagel, right out of your living room. That's a sack if he wraps him up.
30-yard run by Willie Gillis. Doesn't matter who plays quarterback for the Argos, they just keep scoring.
Well, the one thing we do know, they can all run.
And Gillis is probably the slow. Kangemi would be the slowest of the bunch. Gillis maybe the second slowest, but he showed decent speed there. It's 49-30 now. The Argos in front as they bump that single season point scoring total, record total, up to 689 points. A minute 55 left for Steve Goldman and the Ottawa Rough Riders. And their situation, if it isn't hopeless now, it's as close as it can get without actually being there. What do you figure about tomorrow, Neil? Winnipeg and Hamilton in Winnipeg.
I have to think Winnipeg is going to be a little bit grumpy, losing back-to-back games on down the stretch when they had a pretty good run going. I think they're going to look to make amends against Hamilton.
Jeff Smith on the kickoff return against Stacey Dawsey went out in the first half with a leg injury, and Smith is down at the 23-yard line. A minute 50 to go. So Steve Goldman and the Ottawa Rough Riders need help if they are going to make the playoffs. Tony Kimbrough's in to play some quarterback, and he runs up to the 30, maybe the 31-yard line. Damon Allen got Ottawa off to a good start tonight on a 2-yard touchdown run as we summarize what happened, but the Argos struck back. Ricky Foggy ran for a touchdown, then Jeff Boyd with a reception for a major. Toronto in front. Ottawa tied it up again. Barnes with a touchdown. And then Ottawa took the lead on a Dorsey field goal. Darrell Smith with his 20th touchdown gave Toronto a 4-point lead at halftime, and we'll finish that off in a second. 2nd and 5 for Ottawa. Kimbrough fires, but nowhere near either Williams or Jeff Smith. And then in the third quarter it was Mike Clemens with not one, not two, but 3 touchdowns. Stephon Jones got one back for Ottawa. They got within 11. And Clemens with his 3rd. And then David Williams gave Ottawa some hope, scoring late, but the Toronto Argos came back. Willie Gillis, after an onside kick attempt by Ottawa, failed, and Gillis ran it in. And so with a minute 38 to go now, the Argos are going to go on and win this game and finish their first season under Don Matthews with a 10-8 record and all sorts of scoring records, points, touchdowns. Good punt by Terry Baker. Clemens back at the 34-yard line. And the pinball is not going to be able to use his wizardry to get out of this one. Kevin Smelly carrying on first down, and he gains 6 or 7 yards. Smelly getting a chance to showcase his talents in this second half. You know, we talked earlier about the fact he hasn't had a lot of playing time, but he's a good rookie.
Earlier on in the season, he was a little bit slow in developing, and I think Don Matthews finally found after about the 6th game when he really did get an opportunity to carry the football that in fact he was now starting to unfold after sitting a year out of football, and it was coming back to him. And a pleasant surprise because he compliments Clemens, and he does a pretty good job of blocking too, which is important.
Willie Gillis in all sorts of trouble, and Kolka finally brings him down. after a loss of a yard at the 35 of Toronto. 58 seconds to go. Jeff Smith down at the 34-yard line. 29 seconds to go now in the game. Well, it's very disappointing for Steve Goldman and the Ottawa Rough Riders, but there are many things for Goldman to feel good about this year. I think one of the things that happened, Neil, is some unrealistic expectations were created for the Riders because of the free agent signings. Remember, this is a team that won 4 games and lost 14 last year. You don't go up to 10 or 11 wins overnight. As a rule, you don't anyway.
Well, not unless everyone else stops playing, and that's usually not going to be the case. Though I think they have been far more competitive than they have been in a number of years. And though they've lost a number of games, I think a total of 6 games by 20 points totaled, that competitiveness is reason to smile.
Kimbrough fires right to Ed Berry. And the Argos may hit 50. Berry is out of bounds at the 12-yard line with 15 seconds left in the game. A further word on Ottawa's competitive nature this year. They lost 1 game by 1 point, 2 games by 3, 2 more by 4 points, and another one by 5.
Well, that was some move. At the end of a game to boot.
There's a guy with a lot of energy.
Kimbrough has plenty of time. Look at that offensive line just create the opening. Well, that's almost like practice. In practice, you're not allowed to hit the quarterback. Must have seemed like it there, but waiting arms of Berry gets forced out by Michelle Lammy about the 14-yard line.
That was Jed Tommy way downfield, waiting for that pass. Willie Gillis sprints right. He throws, and it's no good. Intended for Darrell Smith, who is back in the game, and they're trying to get Smith the record for touchdowns in a season. He has tied Pat Abruzzi at 20, and with 9 seconds to go, we'll see if they can get it to him. Look for this pass to go Darrell Smith's way. Gillis, and it's intercepted by Daniel Hunter. He went back to Andrew Murray, and Daniel Hunter picked it off and is finally tackled in the end zone, and time has expired and the game is over. A bitter night for the Ottawa Rough Riders, and another win for the Toronto Argos, who finish at 10-8 and pile up a bunch more points. And Steve Goldman and the Ottawa Rough Riders will now, Neil, as you said, have to agonize through Sunday afternoon to see if Winnipeg can beat Hamilton and get them in the playoffs. The final score at the Sky Dome: